guys, welcome back to Crunch Time, the show you get the best NBA DFS picks each and every day. Today we have a nice 11-game slate here, joined as always with Chrissair DFS. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. I'm excited for the slate here. We have a lot of games, so
Yeah.
there's going to be stuff that we have to kind of skip over. Not as important here on this slate, and then obviously some key spots that we'll key in on for DFS interest.
Yeah, we also have Turn and Burn with the important contest today, so we have to be extra sharp for him. He has that. Do you know what that tournament is? The one that he's in?
Yeah, it's the Millie Maker, but I mean it's probably one of the worst days to have it. Like there's so much random stuff. It's one day before the trade deadline, so anything can happen. Yeah, it's not a fun day today.
Maybe let's spend like 5 minutes on that at the end. Maybe talk about some tournament strategies. Maybe just deal with that tournament on its own. See what we have there at the end. Yeah, before we get into it, let's go over the success from yesterday. Seeing some chat, we got Brendan here. Got VN Jones says he missed. He missed his chance to hear you say Nets guys, Chris. I think the counter only went up to 1. Not sure.
Oh, we have a ton of interest in Nets guys today.
Yeah, so counter +1. Let's keep track of it. Yeah, we have Nick here, $21 to 30. This is college basketball. So we have that. Nice to see that. We got Mike here, 45.85. NBA main slate here. Awesome stuff. DK as well, 75.150. Good stuff there. Got Snow, 45 to 105 on DK as well. Awesome stuff. T-Dot Baller. What is this? $100 here. 10th place out of 13.5K. So that's awesome. Super solid results there. I think we had the other picture of all the entries. Was this single entry, Chris, or multiple entry? Do you know?
It's probably the 25-cent tournament. I'm not sure. Maybe it's the $2.22 tournament, 20 entry max. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, but anyway, I mean, either way, solid results there. It's a pretty good score on yesterday's slate, so awesome stuff there. We have you over here, 1,700 to 3,500 on FanDuel, 1,700 to 1,800. I guess broke even there on DK, so that's still good to see that. Let me click those. Click that one. Then we have Nick here as well. What is this NHL action over on DK? Loves to play NHL. Got Dakota here, NHL as well. Second place is this a double up? Looks like a double up here. Pretty high score there. Good to see that. I think we have that guy on Florida, Barkov or something like that. He was late scratched. I had him in my lineups. Is that his name, Chris?
Yeah, Barkov,
yeah.
not too hard to say.
I didn't know what his name was.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's an easy name.
Yeah, I wasn't struggling with saying his name. I just wasn't sure what his name was. But yeah, I mean, Aiden has him here. Was he scratched after the game started? Like after the lock?
I'm not sure. I don't follow the NHL news when I'm not playing it, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's no way Aiden would have him if he was ruled out earlier and he had time. So
I think he was actually ruled out before.
Oh, well then what's going on with Aiden? Come on, Aiden.
It was probably a few minutes before. I mean, that was the same time that... I'm not sure when that game exactly locked, but this slate started same time as NBA, so I mean, maybe he was preoccupied.
Gotcha. Okay, what else do we have? Apparently there's a screenshot in my DMs from Justin. I can't really open it though. Maybe can you send it to Chris? Then Chris can send it to me because I have Chris here on the Discord open for the webcam. So if you want me to open it, just send it to Chris, Justin. Then we got Aiden here. So he had the NHL one, even with the late scratch, still cashed. After hours NBA cashed there. NHL after hours cashed there. Single game NHL cashed there on FanDuel. DK, what is this? Ooh, hockey here as well. Cash there. Main slate. Then we got NBA night slate. Cash there. Just cashed everywhere there. So good to see. Good to see. Is this Justin?
I'm not sure. Is it? Let's see.
Yeah, he just.
I posted it in the thing. Oh, he's with the Osmo logo there. I'm not sure how I feel about that, Justin. Is that Justin for real? Did he win 5.7K yesterday?
Where was the post?
Hey.
Why didn't he post it? He's saving it.
Well, I think it is because JRS, his name on what's his name on YouTube? Justin Sweargan or something.
Mm-hmm.
His name on Discord is Rainmaker, so Justin Rainmaker Sweargan
It all adds up.
7881, probably born in 81. I'm not sure. Is that him?
I mean, all signs point to it except for the Osmo logo there.
Yeah, I don't know how I don't know how I feel about that.
The yeah, he's saying it's him. JRS7881. Yeah. Is this an
Well, so,
imposter, Chris? If he wasn't an imposter, he'd have the Crunch logo in there. But it's all love.
so he won he shipped I don't know what this was, but I guess it's the after hours slate. This is with I think one of my friends was talking about this lineup yesterday. I think did you have Tony Bradley, power forward?
Who?
Not you, him.
Who you talk? Oh, are you talking to Justin?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's not. He's on the call, but gotta wait for him. He says
Yeah,
after
let's
hours
bring it up. But
FanDuel.
I mean, well, let's see if he could change the icon quickly, just for proof that it's him.
Let's open it up. Let's see what's going on. That was FanDuel, right? Yeah.
That's pretty cool though.
Do we have to switch the slate here, or just go to the contest, Chris?
Yeah, you have to switch to the after hours slate.
Okay, let's do that. Let's open it up. That's worth opening, for sure. Yeah, let's see what's going on.
Yeah, so he was saving it or something for the show. He didn't post it earlier.
That's classic Justin. What is it? What do we search here?
Just after hours slate. Top one.
One sec. Is this gonna work? There we go. He says he posted it in the Discord too.
Yeah, that one I think.
Let me just click all those for him. Where is he? Here he is. I feel like he's just going incognito, DFS Crunch incognito. Doesn't want everyone to know the secret.
No, you guys switch that if you have an Osmo one. I mean, if you had some other one like a personal picture, then it's cool. But I mean, with the Osmo logo, you're not incognito anyways. So, I mean, but still, this is really cool. You got 6K here, so that's awesome. Tony Bradley, obviously, 42 here, absolutely crazy. So yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Chris is calling him out. That's funny. Justin says, still taking my job. You're not taking it with the Osmo logo in there.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, what's Osmo giving you to have that logo in there? Osmo makes enough money. Probably pulls in a few million per month. So I mean, you're here with his logo. I don't know how I feel about that.
Trigger's saying the disrespect with the Osmo profile pic. Man out here promoting Osmo while he's in the best optimizer in the game.
Trigger deserves a free week for that comment. I like that comment a lot. Definitely deserves an additional week with that comment.
I'm all for it. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, I mean that's awesome. What was the second one? Second place here. How many ways did it tie?
I think 13 or 4. Yeah, 13 here. But yeah, that's crazy. That's really cool.
Yeah. Justin says he's never changed his logo, so he's saying the default logo when he signed up for FanDuel.
Well, I mean, I guess it might be time to change it.
He says, "Don't play much late slate." Yeah, well, I mean, in case you don't know, there is a 50 plus 50 luck if you equip the DFS Crunch logo. It's been a thing. A lot of the members didn't believe it. They switch it, then they end up shipping or doing really well for a while after. So, I mean, you just got first. Maybe you'll get first 2 times in a row if you do it. 50 luck is no joke. It's a lot of luck. But yeah, that's. I mean, I love to see that. That's super great. Yeah, hopefully we can do the same thing for Turner today because he has that big one milli maker. So I'm feeling good about it. You always say odds are stacked against you. Whenever I say, "Am I gonna get first in a tournament?" I always say they're stacked in my favor. But yeah, let's see what we got. So we did that. That was a nice surprise one. I kind of like the delivery there from Justin. I like it. Like the timing is really good during the show. I like that one. That's a good delivery.
And last thing, if he doesn't know, I mean, it's in the Start Here channel, the picture, just right there in the Start Here channel in the Discord, if you want to show it. For anyone who wants to switch their logo, yeah, just go to the Start Here channel, Gary.
Should we? Let's see if we'll keep this one open. We'll see what happens throughout the course of this show. But yeah, let's see what we got. We got some. I mean,
let's show them how to download the picture.
Okay, so where do you go, Chris?
I've said it about 10 times. You have to dig into your memory.
Wait, are you calling me out?
Yeah, I've said it 10 times now.
Okay, so you click start here.
Yeah, right there. You can just right-click that picture if you want to. I mean, no pressure. A little bit of pressure. A lot of pressure, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Chris doesn't call people out often, so when he does it, it's serious business. But yeah, I mean, Chris even formatted this specially for the FanDuel and DraftKings photo because I think the regular logo that we have, the regular dimensions that kind of look funny when you upload it to DK or FanDuel. So this is the special one that's properly sized for those two sites. Justin saying start here, taking your job. I mean, I'm one step ahead of you. I have it set up. My logo's right there. So Chris has his set up too. So we're a step ahead of you there as well. Let's see what else. Justin says, since my lines were busted because no late swap, I tilted and maxed. So this was a tilt entry, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, it worked out. So that was good that it wasn't working last night, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, that does suck. It is unfortunate. We just, like on our end, to prevent that, we have to add more automated tests that test our application, like different parts of it. So doing tests for like late swap, it's a little annoying, but we can definitely add them in just so when we make changes to our application, things work. Things don't break when we add new things. So that's what happened yesterday. We had some changes and then something broke the way the positions were sorted on our site. So then the late swap didn't work. But yeah, that shouldn't be happening moving forward. Like we need to add more tests. So that's something I'll be adding this week specifically for late swap. So that doesn't happen again when we introduce new changes. But yeah, we're still early on here, so still figuring all that out, making it more stable. So definitely one of my goals is to not have any of these random issues pop up because they are pretty annoying to deal with when they do happen. So I do apologize for that. But yeah, what do we go over now, Chris? Do you want to go over where's yours? Your DraftKings and FanDuel. Let's go over the FanDuel one first. So we have this one here, 315.5, 10th place here in a double up. I opened up another, I think this was a small train with your boy, McLovin, just so we can compare the two. But yeah, get into it, Chris.
Yeah, so yesterday was tricky, very similar to today. Can you just scroll down a little bit?
I was. Huh?
No, I can't see Wiseman. Yeah, there. So I mean, it was tricky. Very similar to today with Harden, obviously on the West Coast. So he's questionable again today. So there's going to be some discussion there on what to do. I mean, I always think Harden plays like he loves to play. There was a quote yesterday like he loves to hoop. He'll go out there anytime he can. So I agree with that. Like he's always shown that he wants to play whenever he can. He doesn't rest. So I like him a lot. So I think he's going to play again today, if I had to guess. But yesterday I thought he was going to play as well. There was a decision once we got the Lonzo Ball news to go to this second team on the right without Harden. So it was probably safer, I guess. But I couldn't fade Harden in that spot against Portland with no Kyrie, no KD. So I stuck with this team. Everything else here was pretty, like, I don't know. Kelly Oubre here, 7%, 43. So that was really big for me. But I mean, I kind of played him just so I could have some more wiggle room to late swap if we got news that Harden was out. So that's why I wanted to go to Oubre. There was like a 2v2 there with Barrett and Hachimura instead. But I wanted this side just because it had Oubre in the late game, just so I had a little more wiggle room there. And yeah, that was pretty much the main decision. Like these point guards here, I like them a lot. I wasn't going to fade them. Bruce Brown, same thing. He was an easy play, free square on FanDuel. Aaron Gordon, same thing here. He was a free square for his price tag on FanDuel. And then Jay Crowder, he was cheap enough where he kind of worked as a value play. Had him in my core yesterday, so that was good. I think he was 3.8K. And then Wiseman here ended up getting the start. So that helped a little bit, but he didn't do too well. Like he still exceeded his value for his cheap price tag, but I didn't have a monster game or anything like that. But he definitely got there for me. Good enough value there. So yeah, that was FanDuel there, and ended up having a big night.
Yeah, BI's looking pretty good again lately, so I like to see that. Phrase of the day: wiggle room for Chris with the late swap stuff. Lillard with the underwhelming performance as well. Didn't do too well for me in the tournaments that I was playing in over in the EuroLeague. What else do we have here? Yeah, I think Oubre, he had a slow start as well, right, Chris? Like at the half or something. He was definitely.
I think he had like 16. He's 5'6" now on FanDuel, so very cheap.
Okay.
But I think he scored a lot of points in the second half. But he was, I think he had like 6, 4, and 3 with a block in the first half. So he was on his way to value for this price tag, and then he started scoring very well. I was at the gym watching that game, so that was good.
Yep. Let's see what we got in the chat. Some other comments on Justin. Let's see. Trigger said plus 50 luck, plus 100 respect.
Yeah, true.
I like that one too. Rhonda says last 2 days Chris has been different with the surprised face, I think is what to call that one.
The O face.
Yeah. What else? Austin says you have to delete your app and reinstall it. Trigger says prophecy states tonight's takedown will have a crunch logo. We need that Millie Maker for Turner. I think we're due. Like our optimizer's due for a takedown like that, so we'll get one.
I mean, we got one last night with Justin Swearigan here, so
yeah, no, we've gotten a few for sure. But I mean, like we need a Millie Maker one. We need one of those.
Well, those are rare. You need a bunch of people. And then one hit. So I mean, those are rare when you're small.
We need a 6-figure one though. How about that?
No, those are definitely rare when you don't have a bunch of people playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trigger's right. We didn't get one. Osmo did.
That's true. Oh boy. Osmo's probably like scouring all the contests, finding their winners, taking those screenshots. Little do they know.
Yeah, Justin's here trying to get me to say his last name properly. I mean, I'm not gonna say it properly until you change that logo, Justin Swearigan. I'll keep saying it like that.
Yeah, Chris likes to drink gin. Liquor of choice for Chris, gin. Ian Jones says, big slate better get started. Agree, agree. Justin's, well, let's just go over this because, I mean, this is awesome. So, yeah, he says 100% tilt entry and woke up to cash. That's awesome. Like, I mean, yeah, no. I think the day when I shipped it, the first day for NBA in the late slate or the single game slate, I think the day before, like something happened with like my entries, like I couldn't update them in time, or like I got busy, so like I lost like a few $100 or something. Then the next day I won. So sometimes it works out like that. So let's see. Trigger says Glovin knows better to run that garbage lineup out there. Chris, is this garbage?
No, I like that lineup. I was considering it. But yeah, without Harden, I couldn't do it.
Yeah. Justin says not changing that logo. Chris C at the top.
Yeah, I mean, what I'll say, can you just go back to that contest?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, you got this other Osmo guy, M Jazz here. I mean, you're in here with the other guys. Like, you don't stand out at all with that logo. That's all I'll say there. I mean, you're just another Osmo subscriber there with the Osmo logo. I mean, might as well put the Roto Grinders logo up while you're at it. Just join the rest of the sheep.
Jeez. Who's that Roto Grinders guy with the face with the Roto Grinders picture in the back?
Blender.
Yeah, put Blender's picture, the RG with this face. That's a good one. I like that one. But yeah, let's go over some DK. So you broke even here, Chris. Let's see. Yeah. So what happened here?
Just Wiggins pretty much. He was 40% here. He was absolutely awful yesterday. One of the worst games I've seen. So yeah, he was awful here. He was pretty much the reason I wasn't able to cash. Broke even, like you said. So still happy with that. But yeah, he was the main guy here. I think everything else here was pretty obvious. I went with 4 Brooklyn Nets here just so I could backload in case we got Harden news. So that's why I went for the 4 Nets there. Yeah, that's what I did on DK.
Yep. You want to go over anyone else?
No, I mean, we can, but I think I sent you a contest that's too big.
Yeah, okay. Let's get into the slate because there's a lot of games here. Let me just refresh FanDuel here.
I think David also said he got 335 in FanDuel cash yesterday, so that's awesome as well.
Yeah. Trigger says just another corporate shill. DC says Sheeple Blender. His name is Blender HD, right? Why is that high definition or is that his last name?
I have no idea. His name is Justin Cooper, so it's definitely not his last name.
Just high definition. Trigger says spineless move. Justin says get Chris off script. Let's go into the slate. Got Ian Jones's value plays, man, TLC, Jeff Green, and Jeff Green's value plus revenge narrative. Let's get into all that, Chris. So 11 games here. Got an important day here with Turner in the Millie Maker. So what are your favorite games here so far? News so far in this slate?
Yeah, like I said earlier, it's a pretty ugly slate. Like, we're just gonna have to wait for news. There's nothing that, I mean, as of now, Brooklyn stands out for me. I like Luka a lot up top, but yeah, we're gonna have to wait for this news. We have Giannis as well, who's questionable. If he's out, it'll change the slate completely. So, a ton of stuff we're waiting on. Gonna skip through a bunch of these games just because they're not important, and then, like I said earlier, key in on the spots that matter.
Yeah, I think I had a question. Turner messaged me. He said something about like the first opto and the second opto. One of them has like Giannis. One of them has Luka. Maybe it was Harden. One of them has like a questionable tag, and he was just wondering if like, do you know what I'm talking about? Does the first optimal have a player with a questionable tag, Chris?
Wait, what'd you say? Sorry, does
like the first 2 highest optimals right now, I think number one has like a guy who's questionable right now.
Yeah, so exact same thing as yesterday. We have Harden. Harden's in a great spot, and he's questionable.
Yeah, so I guess his concern was with that, but I guess we can get into that when we go over the lineups. I'll bring that up again. Let's load up the first game here. Detroit, Indiana. Let's just see what else we have in the chat here before we do that. Austin's calling us out apparently, says, why so much hate? It's bad karma. Are we hating, Chris?
I mean, I'm not hating. I'm just joking around. So I have no ill will to Justin or Osmo. I've been an Osmo subscriber for a few years now, so I mean, no hate here for sure. I was just joking around.
Yeah, no hate at all for sure. But yeah, Detroit Pistons, Indiana Pacers. Detroit side first, we have Wayne Ellington, questionable tag. Jahlil Okafor out, Hamidou Diallo out, and Rodney McGruder out. Projected starters, DeLon Wright, Wayne Ellington, Sadiq Bey, Jeremy Grant, and Mason Plumlee. Anybody there that we are interested in, Chris?
No, no one here at all. Giant slate. This is not a spot that we want to target. It's the first game of the slate, as Austin pointed out. We'll go over some interesting guys on the next team in Indiana, but on Detroit here, there's no one that interests me at all.
Okay. Yeah, Austin already said it. He says, are we fading the first game? Other half here, Indiana, Brogdon, Turner, questionable. Jakar Sampson is back in. Projected starters, Malcolm Brogdon, Karis LeVert, Justin Holiday, Domantas Sabonis, and what's his face? Miles Turner. Any interest there, Chris?
So, I mean, if the big news here is going to be Brogdon and Turner. If they're out, we're going to have a ton of interest here. If they're not, if they're playing, we're just going to fade this entire game, wait for some more news. Because the Milwaukee game locks 30 minutes after this one, so that's important news with Giannis. I imagine we'll probably get it in 30 minutes with the injury report, but if we don't, it'll be good to backload. Let me just see these price tags. Yeah, so like if we get Turner and Brogdon out again, I do think that McConnell will be interesting if he starts. Even if he's off the bench, he's 5K on FanDuel, so that's pretty cheap there. DK is around 6K, so that's a little more of a decision, especially if he's not starting. But he'll become a really good play if Brogdon is out. I'd probably guess that Brogdon is going to be out here just because they're considering trading him here. He's questionable with an injury, so I would guess that he's out. Turner is the one I'm not sure about. I'd probably say he's in, but I have no idea. So that's news that we're going to have to wait on. I would imagine we probably get this news at 2:30 as well, so in 30 minutes when the injury report comes out. But like I said, if these guys are in, we're just going to fade this entire game.
Okay. Let us jump into the next game. Denver Nuggets against the Toronto Raptors. Toronto Raptors definitely need a win. Denver side, we have Monte Morris out, Greg Whittington out, Gary Harris out. Projected starters, Jamal Murray, Will Barton, Michael Porter Jr., Paul Millsap, and Nikola Jokic. Looking at this game here, seems like a tough guard of Jokic. I mean, he probably always is with any team, but just for the Raptors, it'd be hard to guard. Who are you interested here, Chris, on the Denver side?
I mean, there's no one here like Jokic, I guess. He's like, I prefer spending up for Harden and Luka today, but I think Jokic is a really good tournament pivot. Like, he's going to go very under-owned. Obviously, he's a center, so it's hard to play him when we have other value guys at center, when we have other studs in other positions as well. But he's been crushing recently. He's on the back end of a back-to-back, so that's a little bit concerning. But he's been putting up huge games. He put up 71 last night, 64 the game before, 75 before that. So he's been crushing. No problems playing him in tournaments. But in cash games, just can't do it here. If I can, I'm just going to keep backloading until we get news, probably until the 8 p.m. games, if we don't get Giannis news. So nothing here for me on Denver other than Jokic in tournaments.
Got it. Toronto side, we have OG Anunoby, probable back-to-back there for him. Pat McCaw out for the Raptors. The projected starters, Kyle Lowry for Van Fleet, Norm Powell, OG Anunoby, and Pascal Siakam. Just wondering, Chris, who do you think is going to get more of a run here on the Raptors? Do you think they'll pull out Boucher maybe a bit to go on? Like, who do you think they'll have on Jokic? Is it Siakam? Is it Anunoby? Is it Baines? Like, who would be the guy there?
I have no idea. Probably Baines. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe OG. Who knows? But this is a stay away spot for me. Don't love the matchup here. Don't love the price tags. Like you can play Fred VanVleet in tournaments. He's been consistently playing 41 minutes. So, I mean, I like that, but no one here in cash games at all. Just have a giant slate, so don't need to go here.
Got it. Let's go into the next game then. Boston Celtics against the Milwaukee Bucks. Boston side, we have Kemba Walker back in, Tatum in, Tristan Thompson out, Romeo Langford out, projected starters, Walker, Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and Daniel Tice. Any interest there, Chris?
I mean, this one's kind of tricky. I think this is a national TV game. Let me see. Yeah, so this is a game on ESPN. The Brooklyn game is also on ESPN, so that kind of makes me think Harden plays even more. But yeah, this Boston game, I mean, this Boston team, I have some interest here in places where I can kind of take advantage of price tags. Last game we got news that Marcus Smart isn't going to be on a minutes restriction anymore. He's 5K on FanDuel, so I like that price tag. I think that's pretty interesting. I was on him earlier in the day, not on him now, but I do think that's a good price tag on FanDuel. DK is 5'9", too expensive for me. Don't need to go there when Kemba's playing. Obviously, Tatum is back as well. And then another guy I'll mention is Jaylen Brown on FanDuel. He's been crushing recently, been putting up 50 pretty consistently. Minutes have been up, shots have been up, usage has been up. So I still like him even with Tatum and Walker back. But yeah, those are that's pretty much it.
Yeah. On Miles Turner, Chris, it's his birthday today, by the way.
So does that mean he's more likely to play or less likely to play?
Well, if it was Kyrie, Kyrie would take the day off. Turner.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
But he's not Kyrie. Yeah, I don't know if he plays. You like the birthday narratives, don't you?
No, I don't. There's no way I play Miles Turner if he plays. Just first game of the slate, giant slate where we can backload. So no chance I'm playing Miles Turner today.
Come on, you got to jam in the narratives, Chris.
No, you got to be smart. You can't jam them in without any thought.
Okay. Well, I mean, the thought is it's his birthday. So maybe the coach will give him more of a run. Maybe his teammates will kind of push him, kind of make him get more shots up, things like that on his birthday.
Maybe.
Milwaukee side, we have Tucker, PJ Tucker, probable, Bryn Forbes, questionable, Giannis, questionable, Kurug's out. Projected starters, Drew Holiday, Dante DiVincenzo, Chris Middleton, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Brooke Lopez. I think we had a comment here saying Drew's price tag is ridiculous. I think it was from Trigger. What do you think of his price tag, Chris? Obviously, it doesn't look like he's in play today, but I guess it's not the best question. But who do you like on the Bucks, Chris?
So this entire team depends on the Giannis news. If Giannis plays, I don't have interest in these guys. Like usually, Giannis is the only guy I like. But we kind of have other studs that I'm prioritizing, like Luka and Harden on this slate. So not too interested in Giannis if he plays. If he's out, that's where we're going to have a ton of interest in Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton. So, I mean, Drew Holiday is very expensive now on FanDuel. He's 8.3K. DraftKings is kind of opposite. Chris Middleton is the expensive one there at 8K. But I do think these guys are going to be probably staples of our lineups if Giannis ends up being ruled out. Like we've seen the same situation over and over again when Giannis has been out. Last year, we always jammed in Bledsoe and Middleton. So it's no different this year. Drew is better than Bledsoe, obviously. He had that, I think, 60-point game yesterday, or not yesterday, 2 days ago when Giannis was out. So, yeah, a lot of it depends on the news here, and it's definitely a good place to backload if we don't get the news before the lock.
Okay. Let's load up the next game. Some chat here quickly. Royal King's in here. What's up, Royal King? Austin says, towards the end of the show, can we get possible trades or a link in Discord, please? I guess we can touch on some potential trades, Chris. Is that something we could do?
Yeah, probably. I mean, a lot of it is rumors, but I guess I can probably find something.
Yeah, look something up. We can go over it at the end, just so we can kind of have an idea of what's stirring up in the NBA. I think it's good to know. Um, I mean, trade deadline's always a crazy. Is it today or tomorrow?
Tomorrow. So I mean, usually trades happen the day of. I mean, there's not too much concern here. Like Kyle Lowry is the one guy that I'd watch out for today because he's playing today. But I mean, other than that, I don't know. Like Aaron Gordon's a big name. Victor Oladipo's a big name. They're not playing today. So I think it's just the Raptors guys who we don't have interest in anyways. So I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So what else do we have here? Give me a sec. Trigger says McGee could be a good tournament play today. Just look at the game logs against Chicago. Don't remember the last time a guy didn't go 5x. Deshaun says, who would y'all take, Harden, Luca, or Jokic?
I would take Harden, then Luca,
Oh,
and
sorry.
then Jokic.
Question's different. It says, who would y'all take, Harden, Luca, or Jokic and Giannis?
Harden, Luca for sure.
Yeah. Trigger says, my Raptors are on the block. Norm Powell, Kyle Lowry. Yeah, I mean, I don't really mind anymore. They kind of stink, Raptors, so they need to plan something else. Like, I don't think they should stick to what they have right now. So I don't know if it's like a rebuild, focus on the young guys, develop players, but like obviously not contending anymore. So there's no point in keeping guys like that. Dave Chris says top names are Grant, Depot, Lowry, Gordon. Did you mention Grant, Chris?
No, I didn't mention Grant. I don't know. I don't think Grant gets moved. But yeah, he's been his name has been in some rumors. McGee as well. Uh, yeah, they're all rumors. Like, who knows how much actual weight is in those names?
Yeah. Trigger says develop Yuta Watanabe.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
He's sneaky athletic.
Yeah. Got dunked on. It's pretty nasty. But yeah, next game, Cavaliers against the Bulls. Cleveland side, we have Torian Prince out, Drummond out, and Matthew Dellavedova out. Kevin Love also out. Do need to free Drummond soon, I hope. Just going to mention that every day until he's free. But yeah, free Drummond. Projected starters, Darius Garland, Colin Sexton, Isaiah Okoro, Larry Nance Jr., and Jarrett Allen. You mentioned Allen had his price down a little bit recently. You said you're not sure why it was so low. Is that something we can take advantage in tournaments, Chris, today? Or is he priced back up a bit? What are your thoughts on Allen?
Yeah, so that was the game when McGee missed. He was 6'3". Now he's 6'7" on FanDuel, 7'6" on DK. Like this is the matchup that we love, bigs against Chicago. So I don't mind Jared Allen here. I think if I'm picking a Cleveland big between Allen and McGee, I would go with Allen here just because his minutes are much safer. We saw Gobert put up 9 blocks against the Chicago Bulls a few days ago. So I mean, Allen's a big time shot blocker as well. So I definitely like Jared Allen in tournaments. Can't land there in cash games. Like this game it's one of the lowest over unders on the entire slate. So I like the bigs just because they can get some blocks, some steals against the Chicago team. So if you want to play Jared Allen in tournaments, no problem with that. If you want to punt with JaVale McGee, I probably have no problem with that either. It's not something that I'm going to do today, but I don't think it's a bad idea in tournaments just because we've seen the upside that he has. Even in 20 minutes, he can get you 40 fantasy points. And that's something that's pretty valuable as a value option in tournaments. So I like him. And then last guy I'll touch on is going to be Darius Garland on FanDuel for 5.5K. I like the matchup here. He's 6'6" on DK, so that's a pretty big discrepancy. But yeah, I don't mind him in cash games. This is the last piece. Tournaments, I like him as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Trigger says even like Nance here. You like Nance, Chris?
He's okay. I don't know. DraftKings a little too expensive for me. FanDuel 5.6, small forward. not really landing in that range. I guess it's fine in tournaments. Like he could be the big that kind of has the big game here. So yeah, I don't mind in tournaments. Can't do it in cash games, obviously.
Got it. Speaking of bigs doing well, I think we had that big Aiden game. I did mention his price tag yesterday. He went for like 50. That's kind of crazy. That's good. So that was good. I played him a bit, but not enough. I think like 25% in my tournaments. Trigger says his screensaver on his phone is the Yuta poster, Chris.
Yeah, that was definitely a good one. Yeah, I love that dunk.
Yeah, it's nice. Nasty. Other half here, Chicago, Chandler, Hutchinson out for them. Garrett Temple, questionable. Projected starters, Thomas Hodoransky, Zach Levine, Patrick Williams, Thaddeus Young, and Lauri Markkinen. Anybody on the Bulls, Chris? The Lovables?
No, there's no one here. Not a great matchup against the Cavs. Giant slate, so nothing here that interests me.
Do you think Chicago's ever going to be relevant again as a team?
Like ever or in the next few years?
Let's just say like next 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, you just need the right pick. Like if they land Cade Cunningham, Jalen Suggs, Jalen Green. Just I don't know. It depends on draft luck. I mean, you say it's rigged, so I think Chicago is a pretty big market. So, if it's rigged, they'll definitely take the NBA will take care of Chicago.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely rigged. It's not an if.
Yeah. So then to answer you can answer your own question then.
Yeah. Well, then they just need a good pick. Let's see. Capella better play than Allen tonight. VN Jones likes Capella more than Allen, Chris.
Yeah, no problems with that. I mean, yeah, he's in a great spot as well. Like we love targeting Sacramento, love targeting the Bulls. So yeah, I have no problems saying that.
Yep. Trigger's calling everyone out. Says, "Come on, slouches. Let's get the likes up." Deshaun says, "Last one, Hayward or Chris Posterzig."
Kristaps?
Yeah, What is Posterzig?
I don't know. Probably a typo. Is that I guess that's a DraftKings question because they're different positions on FanDuel. Let's see here. Kristaps 8K. Hayward is 7.9. So yeah, it's a DK question. Give me Kristaps Porzingis there.
Yeah, and then I mean, if you have more questions, Deshaun, feel free to ask. There's no limit here. I mean, there might be, but I don't think we've ever hit like a limit of someone asking questions nonstop. But yeah, I mean, if you have questions, feel free to ask. Next game, Memphis Grizzlies, OKC Thunder. Memphis side first, their way. I always try to do away team first. Nothing on the Memphis side, just their projected starters. We have John Morant, Grayson Allen, Dylan Brooks, Kyle Anderson, and Jonas Valanciunas. Anybody there, Chris?
Nothing here for me today.
Okay, that was quick. OKC side, we have Al Horford.
Actually, let me touch on one guy on DK. Kyle Anderson is 5'1", so that's a little bit interesting. But it's like a last piece guy. Not someone I love to play, but his minutes have been up recently. 33 last game, 29 the game before. So I mean, if he's playing 30 minutes for 5.1K, should be able to get there as a value guy in cash games. But I don't love it in tournaments.
Trigger says this game should be banned from television, straight to radio.
Yeah,
especially
sure.
with SGA out.
Yeah,
SGA John Morant could have been good though.
Yeah.
What does he have? SGA is like plantar fasciitis or something like that. What is that? It's like
I think he's been out with like a knee injury, a shoulder injury. So I think they're just tanking. I don't think it's a real injury.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, I have him in ESPN League season long, and it says like plantar fasciitis is not easy to shake off. And they said it could be like a week or so. Yeah, so that's an interesting one for sure. I feel like all you need to fix that one is like pretty sure you just need to like massage it. It's like deep tissue massage or something. So he's been skipping on that. So that seems like a fake injury. But anyway, OKC side, we have Horford in, Luguentz Dort in, Josh Hall out, Darius Baisley out, SGA out with the fake injury there. George Hill also out. Projected starters, Theo Maledon, Luguentz Dort, Pokashevsky, Roby, and Horford. I love this starting lineup. We got Pokashevsky and Roby. Love those guys. Any price tags we can take advantage of with SGA out? No.
No, there's like this is an awful game. Maybe on like a 5-game slate, 6-game slate, SGA out here would matter, but on this giant slate where we just have a ton of other stuff that we can take advantage of, a bunch of teams that we'd like to target playing. So yeah, nothing here for me. Maybe in tournaments you could play someone like Dort, Horford, Maledon, but I don't know. I don't like this spot at all.
Yeah, Trigger says, feels like the Thunder have been trying to tank the last 2 years, but they play too hard. They're a G League team. Will play their hearts out tonight and find a way to pull this one out. Yeah?
Yeah. I don't know. Like this, like Trigger said, very ugly game. G League game here.
Yeah, Vian Jones says, I had a last man in with DK with 5-4 on DK left. Went with Brooks. Don't like it, but best of what was left without changing my lineup. What do you think of that? Brooks is the last piece, Chris.
Yeah, I don't mind it. 5.4K. We can just check out what some options here are. Yeah, so you have Devontae Graham there as well. Kyle Anderson, I mentioned him. So yeah, I guess Brooks is small shooting guard, small forward. So I guess I kind of even like Bridges a little more if you're playing Brooks at small forward, and then if you're playing shooting guard, I like Devontae Graham there.
Yep. Trigger says, please tell me they're not starting Pokashevsky, Roby, and Horford.
We'll have to wait and see because Horford's missed the last couple of games. But I mean, Pokashevsky is the GOAT. He's been crushing recently, so I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Next game, we have the Phoenix Suns, Orlando Magic. Phoenix side, Abdel Nader out. Projected starters, Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Bridges, Jake Crowder, and DeAndre Ayton, still 5'8". Had a massive game, but I feel like that was against Miami, correct?
Yeah, I mean, this game here, this is the worst game of the slate in my opinion. No one I want to touch here.
Okay.
I think this game is probably worse than the game we just talked about with Memphis and OKC.
Should we just skip the other half or go through it quickly?
Just go through the starters, but I'm not going to have interest in any of the players.
Okay. Orlando side, there's T. Ross questionable, Jason Randall questionable, Bamba questionable, Cole Anthony out. Projected starters, MCW, Evan Fournier, Aaron Gordon, Alfred Camino, and Vucevic. So we have Gordon with the trade rumors over there. I think I heard some with Fournier as well. No interest even in Vucevic, Chris, for tournaments. Seems like sometimes he goes under-owned. He's always capable of having like a big game.
No, I mean, I hate the matchup against the Suns. I don't know. I don't like it. I think I said earlier that Orlando's not playing today, but they are obviously here. So Aaron Gordon and Evan Fournier, a lot of trade talks on them. I'm glad they're playing the Phoenix Suns just so I don't have to consider them at all. So yeah, this is just a complete stay away game for me.
Okay. Next game up, we have the Charlotte Hornets at Houston Rockets. Charlotte side, just Cody Zeller, probable tag, LaMelo Ball out, I think. Not sure if it's the whole season, though. I think I saw something else saying it might be like a few weeks. Have you heard anything on that, Chris?
No way. He got surgery.
I mean, I'm just saying what I've read, what I've heard.
No way he's coming back in a few weeks. There's no chance. He's been ruled out for... I mean, the surgery recovery takes like a month, and then he has to rehab it, get the strength up. So, I mean, there's no way he's coming back in a few weeks.
I don't know. Maybe he'll come back. Um, he
Like
seems so
the
sure.
timeline for him coming back is the first round of the playoffs,
Say
and
again.
I don't think so. The timeline they have for him coming back is the first round of the playoffs, and I don't think they're going to play LaMelo Ball with his injury in the first round of the playoffs. Like they're just
Okay.
going to save him.
All right. Um, projected starters there: Devontae Graham, Rozier, Hayward, Washington, and Zeller. Do we have Graham and Rozier priced up accordingly, Chris, with their boosted usage now with no ball there?
I mean, sort of. Like this team is interesting. The matchup here is good against the Houston Rockets. We always like targeting them. They don't play much defense. So Charlotte's implied to score 113 points here. I have interest in some of these guys. I think Gordon Hayward is a lock for me on FanDuel, where he's 7K. Just way too cheap there. We saw him have the huge game last time out. Not that huge, but went for 45 against the Spurs. Usage rate was way up, so no LaMelo Ball there definitely helps Hayward a lot. I think Rozier, his usage rate is similar. He had a big game last time out against the Spurs, but his usage rate is similar to before Ball was out. I think Hayward gets the big bump here. So I like him a lot on FanDuel for 7K. DraftKings 7.9. So that's more expensive. I don't think I need to go there. Um, but I think Malik Monk here is also pretty interesting. He's been in some trade rumors as well. He's 3.8 on FanDuel, DraftKings 4.3. So he's interesting to me on both sites. He had a minutes bump as well with LaMelo out, so he played 26 or 27 minutes last game. Before that, he was hovering around like 14 to 16 in the last week or so before that. So he definitely gets a bump here with LaMelo out. So I like him for value on both sides. We've seen the upside he has. If his shot is falling, he could definitely sneak up to 30, 32 minutes. So I like him. And then Devontae Graham is another guy I'll mention here. 5.3 on DK, 5K on FanDuel. Pretty interesting play there. Same sort of thing as Rozier. Rozier's around 7K on both sides. Don't mind that at all either. Um, but for the most part, right now, I'm most interested in Hayward and then Monk for value.
Okay. Dinda's asking or just listing some names: Hayward, Zubats, Richardson, Allen.
Richardson. I guess that's DK because you listed two centers. So I mean, the only guy I like there on DK is probably Ivica Zubats. I think Hayward's a little too expensive on DK. Allen, I like him in tournaments, but he's also much cheaper on FanDuel, so I prefer him there. Assuming that's Sherrett Allen, obviously there's a few different Allens. Who's the last guy there?
Hayward, Zubats, Richardson, Allen.
Um, yeah, so Richardson, Josh Richardson. Yeah, it's a good matchup. Definitely sneaky play there.
Yep. Let's see some other chat. Or Trigger says Orlando has a game, but Chris, you're right. They aren't going to show up to play today. Getting called out from Royal King about LaMelo coming back. I'm just saying that's what I've read somewhere. I'm not saying he'll come back, but he could. He could come back.
No, he
Um,
couldn't.
huh?
He can't.
He can. He can. Definitely can. Trigger says LaMelo is an athletic anomaly from a different gene pool. He'll be ready to go in a week. So I mean, that's word on the street, Chris. Trigger says, give me some Christian Wood. 8-1 too cheap if he gets a full run. So let's get into Houston. We have Kevin Porter Jr., questionable tag, Dante Exum out. Projected starters: John Wall, Oladipo, Danwell House, Jay Sean Tate, and Christian Wood. Yeah, what do you think of Christian Wood, Chris? Do you think he can get a full run here? Is it too cheap of a price tag?
Yeah, I love Christian Wood. I think he's very sneaky. So he got 36. So he came back from injury, I think 4 games ago. He played 36 minutes once. Every other game he was around 28. So in the 36-minute game, he went for 50. So I mean, I think he could go for 50 here as well. Upside for more. I don't think he's going to be restricted. This is an island game, so no back-to-backs. So I like Christian Wood a lot. I think he's very sneaky in tournaments. Probably not going to land there in cash games just because, I mean, there is some uncertainty with the minutes there, but I do think he's a really good play. And And then John Wall and Victor Oladipo. I don't love that. Like maybe they get limited because of the trade deadline tomorrow. I think Oladipo is going to be moved. John Wall, like he's been playing very well recently. If you want to play him in tournaments, no problems with that. I don't think I could do it in cash games, but I do like him a lot. He shoots a ton. He shot 30 times last game, so that's a little ridiculous. Got 19 points in 30 shots, so that was like that was just awful. But we don't care about that in DFS. So yeah, I like John Wall a little bit in tournaments, and I like Christian Wood a lot. And not interested in these value guys just because they have their big three.
Yeah, and somehow the Raptors still lost to the Rockets. So, wow. Let's see. Vian Jones says, can't pull the trigger on Graham. He's just awful this year. Trigger says he's hard to watch. Yeah. Back on the LaMelo injury, his comeback. Trigger says, ask LeVar, Chris. He can turn water into wine, bread into fish. LaMelo will return to his shelter, and LeVar will heal his injury with his holy touch.
Yeah.
LaMelo
I'm with you there. That's the only way he can come back in a few weeks, like you said.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. You guys love to rule people out for the whole year. Like, how long do you think LeBron's out for? Next season?
Like 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Could be a week.
He didn't fracture his ankle.
Maybe that doctor was wrong. Second opinion. Sounds like a shoddy doctor. They didn't trust him.
He already got surgery, so it was confirmed.
Maybe after the surgery they wanted a second opinion. Maybe it was not needed. I don't know. You never know. Trigger says LeBron's career is over. Wow. That sounds like a hot take.
I mean, that's what you just said. You said he's out for the season, or you were saying how long is he out for?
Yeah. I mean, I saw something. Someone's like, "Oh, he's getting old. Time to like hang his jersey." Absolutely ridiculous. Like he just sprained his ankle. Like it didn't look too good. He should probably take like a few weeks off for that one, heal it up. But yeah. Next game up, we have Mavericks against the Timberwolves. Shout out to that dude in the Discord. His team here. Must be hard to watch them though. Pretty bad this year, as with most years. But yeah, so Dallas side first, we have Tyrell Terry out for them, Willie Cauley-Stein out, James Johnson in. So that's good. Luka's got his backup bodyguard ready. Projected starters, Doncic, Richardson, Dorian Finney-Smith, Maxi Kleber, Kristaps Porzingis. Anybody on the Mavericks, Chris, that you like today?
Yeah, so I have a lot of interest here in the Mavericks. They're actually one of my favorite teams here. They're implied to score 120. Obviously, we always like the matchup against the Timberwolves. This is the highest over-under on the entire slate. Not by a large margin. Like there's 3 games at 231 right now. This one's at 231.5. So this is the highest on the slate. Luka is my favorite spend up on the entire slate, maybe outside of Harden, but I like jamming them both in together. Luka's 11K on FanDuel, DraftKings 11K as well. So I think it's too cheap here for his role. I think he has a monster game here against the Timberwolves. And then Kristaps Porzingis, I think he's pretty interesting as well. He's 7.5 on FanDuel. I think he's 7.9 or 8K on DK. He's been playing very poorly recently, but I think a matchup against the Timberwolves can definitely change that. I'm going to imagine that Karl Anthony Towns guards him. I usually like attacking that matchup whenever I can. So I like Porzingis here. Who else? Let's see. Maybe like Maxi Kleber on FanDuel. He's still 3.8K. Yeah, like he only played 25 minutes last game. Obviously, that one blew out, but I still think it's a good spot here for his price tag. I know a bunch of people don't like to play Maxi Kleber, but he's been playing well. Definitely been paying off his price tag when it's been this cheap. So I like that. I like the matchup a lot. So definitely really like to target the Dallas Mavericks here today.
How can you not like playing Maxi Kleber? I don't get it.
I don't know. He's pretty solid. Like sometimes his price goes up to like low 4Ks. That's when we don't want to touch him, and then sometimes it drops to high 3Ks on FanDuel. That's when we want to touch him as just a solid value piece. So I definitely like him.
Yeah, I'm with you there. So the other half of this game on the Minnesota side, we have Malik Beasley still out with the suspension. D'Angelo Russell out for them. Jordan McLaughlin, questionable tag. Projected starters: Ricky Rubio, Ant-Man, Layman, Catman, and Vanderbilt. Yeah, anybody on the Wolves that we like here, Chris?
Yeah, so I'll just quickly go over the Wolves, and then I kind of want to get to the injury report here because we just got that. So on the Timberwolves, it's not a great spot here in my opinion. They're all priced up to where they should be. No one here in cash games for me. I think in tournaments you could play Cat, you could play Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards had a down game last time out, only played 32 minutes, but we've seen the upside with him, so I definitely don't mind him. And then Cat, same sort of thing. He's expensive, but I definitely think if this game stays close, he could get there. He can go for 60 fantasy points. So don't mind him in tournaments, but most of my interest comes from the Dallas side here.
Okay. I see the news as well. Just go over the chat quickly. Layton says can't trust rostering Lowry since he is in trade rumors. There's definitely a few guys in the rumor mill. But would you consider, we'll go over the rumors at the end of the show a bit more, but would you consider Lowry's trade rumor stuff more serious than some other rumors, Chris?
Well, the thing with these rumor guys, like we have no interest in them today in DFS. So it doesn't really matter. Like I'm not playing Lowry regardless, not playing Aaron Gordon regardless. The other guys we mentioned as well, like Victor Oladipo, not playing him regardless. So, and as I said before, usually trades happen the day of the deadline, not the day before. But the good thing here is that these guys aren't targets for us today on this giant slate.
Yeah. Should we add a filter today? Rumor mill?
No, we should not.
No, we should not. Lynn says LeBron limping could beat the Raptors by himself. If they lost to the Cavaliers without LeBron, I feel like just LeBron on his own could beat the Raptors right now. Yeah, so we have Colin Sexton out, Chris. Was there anything else that you wanted to touch on the injury report?
So is there anything in your secret injury report? Because, we have an 11-game slate here, and the only news we got was that Colin Sexton is out and Garrett Temple is available. So is there anything in your secret report that you have?
No, I just have those two. So Sexton's the most important one.
Okay, so, that news is huge. That makes Darius Garland a lock. No Sexton. Sexton chucks the ball. I kind of hate watching Sexton play. He's very, I don't know, very individual focused. Like it's all about himself. It seems like doesn't pass the ball, just chucks. So I don't love watching him play. But yeah, like I said, a bunch of these guys probably become interesting now. Like it could be Chetty season if he ends up starting. I'm not sure who they're gonna start here. All I know is that Garland is gonna be a lock for me. Just love the spot here now without Sexton. Really good matchup against Chicago as well. So yeah, we're going to have to kind of keep an eye out on who they end up starting here.
Got it. Trigger's also saying, Chris, his ankle's never going to be the same, LeBron. I feel like, what do you think of that?
He's just joking because you were going at me for saying the LaMelo Ball thing. So you were saying, oh, how long is LeBron going to be out for the season? So that's why Trigger's saying that. Yeah,
there's no way LeBron is going to get hurt like that. Like I just can't see it happening. Let's see. Vian Jones says, Chris, do you have Luka projected for more DK points than Jokic?
Yeah. So I think we have Luka at 60 right now, Jokic at 56.
Yeah. Colin Sexton, 35.45, decreased to 0. That's nice. Vian Jones says, yeah, you just touched on that one. Trigger
Is your mouse on my camera?
Huh?
Is your mouse on my webcam?
Yeah, why?
There's a mouse on my face. Cursor.
Sorry, do you want me to move it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Some spots it goes there, but yeah, I don't know. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I don't know. Now I have two mice. I'm not sure
You
why.
can leave it on my bed. It's fine there.
All right, thanks. Trigger says Chris and Gary. Who are your top plays at small forward and shooting guard beside on FanDuel besides Hayward?
I think outside of Hayward, it's probably like a spend down spot. Guys like Monk, TLC. I really like Chetty as well. I think he's very sneaky now at small forward. Spend ups here outside of Hayward, it's kind of hard just because we're prioritizing studs like Luca and Harden, so it's not really a spend up spot. If we get Giannis out, obviously Chris Middleton will become a lock here. But I think for now it's a spend down spot if you're not playing Hayward with guys like Monk, TLC, and then Chetty if you want to be super sneaky. And then even Larry Nance, like you mentioned earlier, he could have a big game here. No Sexton, so that helps him a little bit as well, I would assume. So yeah, I think it's definitely not a spend up spot, but I think the guys in the low range, some of them stand out.
Yeah, I'm just gonna piggyback on Chris's answer there. I have no clue without looking at the player pool right now. Like I don't have all the players in my head like Chris does. Brain's not capable of that. But I always look after the slate, so if I see someone, I'll mention it in the Discord for sure. Let's see. LeBron will be fine. He puts millions of dollars into preserving his body. Meanwhile, big boy Ben puts millions of dollars into abusing his body each year.
Big boy Ben. That's the first I've ever heard of that. That's
He said, sorry. Meanwhile, my boy Big Ben. Big boy Ben.
yeah, new nickname here, Big Boy Ben.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a little old. He's getting up there.
Yeah. FC says thoughts on FanDuel late slate. It's a must play. What do you think of it, Chris?
I mean, I can't have thoughts on it until we get the Harden news, so that's going to be the big thing there.
Yeah. Let's go into the next game. We have the LA Clippers against the San Antonio Spurs. Clippers side, Serge Ibaka out for them, Pat Bev out for them. Projected starters, Reginald Jackson, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Marcus Morris, and how do you say his first name? Ivica Zubac. Anybody on the Clippers that you like here, Chris?
Yeah, so it's mostly Zubac here, so no Ibaka here again. Zoo has been playing a ton of minutes. He's been playing very well recently as well, ever since he kind of got that starting role. Been in a few blowouts recently, so the last two games he only played 24 minutes. Those two were blowouts, but the first two he played 35, so I like him a lot. He's going to be the only Clipper I'm really interested in here today, though.
Okay. Other half, San Antonio side, we have Rudy Gay out, LMA out, Lonnie Walker out, and Keita Bates-Diop out. Projected starters, DeJounte Murray, Derek White, DeMar DeRozan, Keldon Johnson, and Jakob Poeltl. A few guys out here for the Spurs, Chris. Anybody that we can use here with some guys missing?
Not really. Like I don't love the spot here. I think Derek White is a decent play, 5-2 on FanDuel, so I don't think that's awful. But I mean, we got this Sexton news now, so Darius Garland is right there for 5-5. He just becomes a lock. And then on DK, these guys are a little more expensive. Maybe you could play DeMar DeRozan in tournaments, but I never liked to play DeMar. I mean, he always seems to get there, but I just for some reason never like to play him. So I'm probably not going to play any Spurs here tonight.
Yeah, Trigger says it's going to be an absolute showdown between Jakob and Ivica.
Yeah, they're both gifted athletically for sure.
Yeah. Layton says Quinn Cook in play now at minimum price.
Like if he gets the start, sure, but I don't think so. Like, I mean, maybe like. Yeah, he's probably in play. Like honestly, he played 18 minutes last game. I would assume he plays maybe 24, 26 here off the bench if he's not starting. And then if he is starting, I think he's a decent play. But I personally don't want to play Quinn Cook unless he's starting.
Yeah. What about DeMar, Chris?
Yeah, I
Dano?
mentioned DeMar. I don't like DeMar. I mean, I like him I like watching him. I just don't like rostering him.
He is really fun to watch, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, people just wanted to hear the Dano from you, Chris.
Deno. Oh
Dano.
yeah. I always forget about that one.
Yeah. VN says, I love, all caps love, man to play 20 plus minutes for value at 3-3 on DraftKings, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with that is like last game was tricky. The game before that was a blowout. So that's kind of why he's been getting minutes. Obviously, Beverly is out, so he'll get a few more, but I think he gets more like 13 to 16 minutes. I don't think he reaches 20 plus here. So last game they were losing by like 20 points, 22 points at the end of the third. Tylee pulled their starters, just put the bench in. Bench ended up making a comeback, and then they ended up they put Paul George and Kawhi Leonard back in, but they left Man in, and they left a few other bench guys that kind of spearheaded that run. So that's why Man has gotten higher minutes recently. It's been because of blowouts. So, I mean, if you want to play that angle, maybe hope for another blowout, sure. But I can't get behind Terrence Mann today.
Okay. Now, Lynn says Paul George usually shuts down DeMar, and then Trigger says DDR does a Houdini act some games.
Yeah, and for some reason it feels like whenever I pick him, he's pulling his Houdini act.
Yeah. I like him though. He's had a good year though, that's for sure. Assist numbers up, looking really good actually. I feel like the Raptors could have used him right about now, but obviously no Kawhi if we had him. But yeah, on the Man thing, VN Jones says he's been balling, earned those minutes. Yeah, next game up, we have the Hawks against the Kings. Atlanta side first, Chris Dunn out, Danilo Gallinari questionable. Projected starters: Ice Tray, Kevin Herter, Tony Snell, John Collins, and Clint Capella. Had some talk here already on Capella having one of those games, 2020. Collins has been playing quite well as well. Is just a question for you, Chris. Is there room for both Collins and Capella to put up big numbers on the boards, or do they kind of eat into each other's production if one of them's doing well?
Yeah, I think they probably eat into each other's production, but I mean, we've seen games where they both had big numbers, so I mean, it could happen. Really good matchup here against the Kings, obviously one of our favorites. So these guys are all interesting. They're not really popping much in cash games just because of the price tags. Like Trae Young, I like him a lot. DraftKings 8-7, FanDuel 8-7 as well. So he's definitely very cheap here. I think he's going to be my favorite tournament play. I don't think many people are going to be on him. Maybe in tournaments he'll have some interest just because of this matchup. But I mean, I think this game is definitely going to go overlooked. It's the late night hammer alongside the Brooklyn game. So we have a giant slate with a bunch of interesting plays in the earlier games as well. So I don't know. Maybe I think Trae Young will become popular if Harden gets ruled out, because then he's going to be the kind of the spend up that you can slot in instead of Harden. But I don't know. As of now, I'm not finding myself landing on these guys, but I definitely have no problems if you want to play Trae Young, Clint Capella, John Collins. I think they're all fine plays here.
Yeah. Trigger says both of you guys have been on the same wavelength today. Is that what you feel, Chris?
Me and him?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Trigger's on one.
Let's go over some chat quickly before the other half here. Lynn says DeMar is not Wiggins, Chris. He is the real Houdini. Trigger also says this. I like this one. He says DeMar sacrificed himself for the Raptors championship. He died for the Raptors' sins. That's a good way to put it.
Yep.
Yeah. Jones says Fox or Trey.
Give me Trae.
Okay. Sean says Aminu or Claxton.
Give me Claxton.
Okay. Trick says Young GPP at 8%. Give me the loot.
Yes.
Jones says I'm stacking the Sacramento Atlanta game. Don't forget the bogey narrative going back to Sacramento. Yeah,
Yes.
what is he used to play there, right? A few
Yeah, the
seasons.
thing is, he's also in some trade talks. We didn't mention him, but yeah, he played there for his entire career. I think this is his first game back. Played against Sacramento once, but that was at home. So this is his first game back in Sacramento. Um, yeah, I definitely have no problem stacking this game. It has a really tight spread, like highest over under, not highest, but up top with some of the other ones. So yeah, definitely have no problem stacking this game. I think it goes overlooked.
Yeah, we also have Aiden's boy, Jean Rondo, revenge narrative. I think he played one season in Sacramento. So there's also that one. But I mean, it's Rajon Rondo in 2021 on the Hawks. So, but yeah, other half here, Sacramento, we have Jamias Ramsey out, Chimezie Metu, questionable projected starters, De'Aaron Fox, Tyrese Halliburton, Buddy Hield, Harrison Barnes, and Rashawn Holmes. Anybody on the Kings side, Chris, that you might play today?
So I don't really want to spend up for Fox here today. I think he's a little too expensive. The guy I'm actually most interested in is someone that you've kind of been asking about me every time the Kings have been playing. Tyrese Halliburton. I think he's very interesting today. 5-7 on both sides. I think he's a very safe cash game option. We saw him play 36 minutes last game, which was the concern with him.
Unleashed.
Minutes restriction. So yeah, he played 36 last game, which is really good to see. I definitely think he's in play on both sides here for us. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me on the Sacramento Kings.
Okay. Last game up. Let's see if you got any chat. Trigger says I'm going back to Cali.
Bogey.
Especially if Gallo is ruled out, Chris. The bogey narrative. What do you think of that? Are you still concerned with the trade talks there, or?
I'm not concerned with trade talks. Like I'm just saying that's something to watch out for. But yeah, I think Bogey's definitely sneaky here today.
Yep. Let's see. Notorious, BIG, Youngins from Trigger. David Korea says Wood, Revenge. Do we touch on that, Chris?
Wood revenge. Who Wood played in Charlotte? Did he? I don't think so. Christian Wood?
Did he? I don't. Yeah, he did. 13 games.
Looks like his second year. Wow. Yeah, I mean, a bunch of teams passed up on him. So he had Philly, Charlotte, Milwaukee, Pelicans, Detroit. They were kind of on him, I guess. Kind of unleashed him, and then yeah, I mean, I guess so. But that was like 5 years ago.
Yeah,
I'm sure he
only
remembers
13.
though.
Trigger says Wood was on everyone's G League team.
Yeah.
That's funny. So yeah, last game of the slate, we have your favorite team, Chris, the Brooklyn guys, Brooklyn boys, Brooklyn. I don't know. You can say your thing. We have the counter at 1 here, so hopefully we'll hear it. Brooklyn Nets against Utah Jazz. Brooklyn side, KD out, Shamet out, Griffin out, Kai Irving out. Harden questionable yet again, but I mean we had that tweet the other day, or I saw the tweet that you posted, a quote from Harden saying, it wasn't a tweet from Harden, but it was just saying that he loves to be on the court, loves to play, feels like he gives his team the best chance of winning playing, so he doesn't like to rest. But he does have the questionable tag again, which is a little bit annoying. And then we have Alize Johnson in for Brooklyn. Projected starters: Harden, Bruce Brown, Joe Harris, Jeff Green, and DeAndre Jordan. Yeah, obviously this is a game that you are interested in, Chris, with Harden here. Guys missing, so get into it.
Yeah, so I think this is what Trigger's reference was to with Biggie. Obviously Brooklyn here, going back to Cali. But yeah, I love the Nets here. I love Harden. He's one of my favorite spend ups. Like you were saying, he loves to play. So for that reason, I do think he's going to play here tonight. So I love him on both sides. He's my favorite spend up alongside Luka. Like playing them both together. So yeah, he's definitely my guy. And then some value guys here I think are interesting. So like TLC, minimum priced on FanDuel, 3-1 on DK. Pretty interesting price tag there. He didn't get the start yesterday, right?
TLC? Not sure. Sorry.
No, he didn't. So who'd they start? They started Harden, Harris, Brown, Green. Yeah, they started Jeff Green. So yeah, TLC didn't get the start, but I do think he's interesting here. Like I said, 3-1 on DK. I really like that price tag for value. So if you need a value guy, like I prefer someone like TLC over Terrence Mann, who VN Jones was talking about. Um, but yeah, I don't mind him. Claxton as well. I like him a lot. Played him yesterday. He's 4K on DK now, so still too cheap here in my opinion. So I like him a lot on DraftKings. But for the most part, it's just going to be Harden as the spend up, and then if you land on some of these value guys as last pieces, I definitely don't mind it.
Okay. Other half, Utah side, nothing noted over there. Just their projected starters of Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell, Boyan Bogdanovic, Royce O'Neal, and Rudy the Rock Gobert. On the Jazz side, Chris, anybody that you like here?
Not really here, unless you want to kind of use it as a bring back. Then you can play someone like Donovan Mitchell, Mike Conley. He's also interesting, I think. Rudy Gobert. Like this is one of our favorite matchups to target going up against the Nets. But yeah, I'm not finding myself landing on these guys too much. They're implied to score 121, so I do think they're going to go pretty under-owned here. 11-point spread, so there is some blowout concern, but I think the Nets can keep it close here. So yeah, it's mostly going to be the three guys I mentioned: Conley, Mitchell, and Gobert. If you want to play these guys, no one's viable in cash games for me. Just tournaments. So if you land there, no problems with any of those three.
Okay. Trigger says Wood is on. So he says every game is a revenge game for Wood, Chris. Which is kind of true.
Yeah.
Got that chip on his shoulder. Trigger also says Marcus Smart 5K. A little interesting. Is that interesting, Chris?
Yeah, I talked about that when we went over the Boston Celtics 5K on FanDuel. Very interesting for sure.
Okay. Ian Jones says Harden, TLC, Jeff Green / Mitchell.
Yeah, really good game stack there for sure.
Yep. Trigger says free Claxton. I think we had a comment from Thomas Bay the other day about Claxton, or was it Mayo Yo? I'm not sure what it was. I don't remember. It was a funny one though.
Brittany Griner, yeah, something like that. Yeah, he said Claxton is what Brittany Griner thinks, or what Brittany Griner could have become if she / he was in the NBA.
Oh my god. Yeah. Vian Jones says playing Man, TLC, and Jeff Green in the same lineup. Austin says no Raptors will be rested tonight other than McCaw. So we do have that, Chris, on the Raptors side. Yeah. Trigger thinks Claxton deserves 30 minutes. Do you agree there, Chris? Would you pick him over DJ?
Yeah, I love Claxton. He seems smart. I was talking to one of my friends. He also said he's pretty athletic. Like he has freaky bounce. That's what he said. And yeah, I think he's smart. Definitely aware. So yeah, looks like Trigger like the Brittany Griner comparison there with Claxton.
So Brittany Griner is Claxton's long lost brother, right sister. Oh my god. DC David Chris says the Corona Kid, Centers versus Nets.
Yeah, I like that nickname more than The Rock, so I have no problems playing the Corona Kid today.
I like it too, actually. Corona Kid. But he's like a vet, though, isn't he, in the league? Call him Corona Kid. It's a little weird.
I don't know.
But it sounds good. I like it, though. Raptors don't need rest.
Ian Jones said that Claxton joke before as well. And Wendy called him out. Hopefully Wendy's not in here right now.
What happened? How did we miss it?
I don't know. I don't remember that.
Oh my god. So maybe Mayo Yo stole that one from VN Jones. Wow. That's funny, Wendy. I wonder what Wendy said to VN Jones. Kind of curious there. Let's see. Raptors don't need rest. They've been playing at all during this losing streak. Agree. They've been pretty ugly. Ian Eagle called him the blonde bomber from Dinda.
Yeah, Iron Eagle. I love Iron Eagle.
Ian Eagle? Who's Ian Eagle? I don't know this.
Yeah, clearly you don't watch any basketball.
Is that a commentator?
Yeah,
What team?
the Nets, National.
Well, I
He's
mean,
one of my favorite commentators.
do I
If
need
you've
to know
watched
them
basketball,
by
you
like the
definitely know.
first name, last name basis? I just recognize their voices. I don't know their names. I
No,
don't know.
you definitely would know.
I mean, do you know like the names of the Raptors commentators?
Uh, no. If you give me like three names, I would know it.
Exactly. Like I don't. That's what I'm saying. Like I like the
They're not.
Nets commentators for sure. They're
They're
up
not.
there. One of my favorites.
No, they're not national TV commentators though.
I mean, still. I mean, can only fit so much in this noggin here. So some of that stuff has to.
Okay, Matty D, Jack Armstrong. So I guess I know them.
Matty D. What's his last name? Just D.
Devlin, Matt Devlin.
Nice. Even I didn't know that actually.
There-
Off the top of my head. Trigger says wax on, wax off. Waxton WNBA from Dinda. Uh, John Cotter, where is he? David's asking where he is. Trigger says if you hear his voice, you'll recognize him. Yeah, for sure. I like the Nets commentators. Thought it was an 80s movie. Then I remember Chris doesn't watch movies. You need to watch your movies, Chris.
I need some recommendations from Austin.
Yeah, that would be good. Trigger says Raptors cooler guy gets way too excited. I want to pimp slap.
Cool. Did you say cooler guy?
Oh, sorry. Color guy.
How do you feel about that? I know you love your Raptors commentators.
I kind of like it. Like, I don't know. I like it when the commentators get excited. Yeah, bonjour. That's what he says for Chris Boucher. I like it. I mean, I don't know. Maybe because I like the Raptors, but I don't know. I feel like some teams have bad commentators, though. I don't know if that's just me. What are some of your worst ones, Chris?
Houston, Atlanta. They're two of the bottom teams there. OKC is pretty bad. Memphis is decent.
Charlotte
I think
is good.
Charlotte's good. Houston is definitely the worst. And then my favorites are Charlotte. Charlotte's not first. Boston's first. No. Boston is one of the worst ones. So I forgot Boston on the bad list.
Oh, yeah.
Brooklyn is my favorite. Then I'll go with the Knicks because they have Mike Breen. Then I'll go with the Lakers, and then I'll go with the Charlotte Hornets.
I used to dislike the Cavaliers when LeBron was there, but I kind of like them now. Actually, not too bad.
Yeah, well, the guy that was there when LeBron was there, he passed away. But the other guy, I don't like the other guy. I don't like the Cavs commentators either. I think they're bottom of the barrel.
I also don't like Golden State guys. I don't know if that's just me.
Golden State's awful.
Okay, yeah, I really don't like the Golden State guys.
They had to fire their guy because he was too much of a homer.
Yeah, okay,
Same with
good.
Houston. They actually did that as well.
Yeah. Vian Jones, Miami announcer says kaboom every time he
I like
hit
Miami.
a three. Wait, who was the guy who said bang?
Mike Breen.
Yeah.
He does the Knicks games as well.
Oh yeah, Nick's guy's good. Is he the one who does like all the rhymes?
Mike
I guess.
No, that's Clyde. I'm not too big of a fan of Clyde.
Sometimes they don't make sense always, do they?
I don't know, whining and dining, cook a bunch of stuff. He has a restaurant called Clyde's Wine and Dine in New York.
We need to get you in that mood for one of these streams. You can just do things like that. Just rhyme everything. Let's see. JC and I have our Roto baseball draft Saturday. John Cotter, David Correa. You playing any baseball season long, Chris?
I mean, I can play in that one if there's room for one more. I'll definitely play in that one.
Yeah, get Chris an invite link. don't get me. I don't know how to play baseball. I don't know baseball very well. Trigger says Houston's pitiful. Philly as well. He's putting Philly on the list. Chris, Houston commentators should be ashamed of themselves. He reaches for some of the rhymes. Yeah, for sure. But it's kind of funny. It's got its charm. I think that's it for the slate overview, though, Chris. Let's get into FanDuel. 3 key plays here. We do need to talk about I guess we're kind of running out of time, but we'll talk about some strategy there for Turner for his Millie Maker.
I don't think he's in here, honestly.
Pardon?
I don't think he's in here.
Yeah, I was just going to relay it to him because I think he said he's working. I think he said he's working until now, so he has the last hour free leading up to lock. So he's probably free now, but probably getting home or something. But let's do our regular stuff here, Chris. So first up, play of the day on FanDuel. Who do you have there?
I'll go with. I'm between Luka and Harden. If Harden plays, I'll go Harden. If Harden doesn't play, I'll go Luka. So I think Harden plays, so I'll say Harden.
Okay. Value play on FanDuel, Chris. Who do you have?
Value play. Let's go with Darius Garland here without Colin Sexton.
Okay. And then tournament play on FanDuel.
Go with Trae Young here. 8-7. I think he's going to go overlooked, so I like him a lot.
Okay. Putting in Harden as your overall play of the day on DK. Value play there. Who do you have?
Value play here. Give me Chetty Osman for 4K.
Is that regardless of his starting role or not?
Yeah, probably. He's a high usage guy. Without Sexton there, we've seen him at big games in the past, so I like Chetty here.
Okay. Tournament play on DK. Who's your guy, Chris?
Same thing. Let's go with Trae Young.
Okay. Let's get into these core plays, get into some cash lineups. Best part of the show. Chris's FanDuel core: Harden, Doncic, Garland, Chetty, Osman. Lock them all in. Check the settings. Good to go. Let's just build 20. Numlock is off. Okay. So Garland, Doncic, Harden, Chetty, Chris, get into those while it's building.
Well, I mean, we got this Sexton news, so these Cavs guys are kind of the main targets here for me in terms of low, cheap guys. And then these 2 studs are my favorite on the slate, so have them. Now we could take a look at the first 2 lineups here. Yeah, so let's see here. 2v2? 3v3?
Yeah, 3.
So we got all these core guys: point guard, shooting guard, 1, small forward 2, all core, and then power forward PJ Washington here. Didn't really mention him, but he's 6K here on FanDuel. Pretty good price tag against Houston, which we always love to target. He played 41 minutes last game, so that was really good to see. So I don't mind PJ Washington at all here for 6K on FanDuel. Maxi Kleba, I think he's decent value as well. Kind of lets us spend up for Harden and Doncic together. And then we have this 3v3: Halliburton, Brown, Zoo versus Smart, Hayward, and Allen. I think it's flipped again, so the second team is actually the high projected team. So I like Jared Allen a lot here. 6-7 in this matchup against the Bulls. No Sexton, which I actually kind of like. Whenever I watch, it always seems like Sexton doesn't pass to Allen. So I think Allen actually gets a bump here without Sexton playing. Then obviously we have Hayward here in a really good spot for 7K. Marcus Smart, 5K, too cheap. This other team, also decent. Halliburton, 5-7, a little too cheap. Jaylen Brown, 7-8. I think that's fair for him. He's been playing very well recently. So I mean, if you want to chase that, no problems there. And then Zubats has been playing very well recently as well. I just kind of lean the second side here with Allen, just because it kind of gets me more exposure to situations that I like a lot with Jarrett Allen and Gordon Hayward.
Okay. I'm just gonna unlock these. I just want to see what the other default optimals are. We can touch on those. I just want to see that, but we can go do DK first. Mike's asking, are we gonna do videos for MLB? I think you had an
Probably
idea for
some
that, didn't you?
videos. I don't know.
Pardon?
I said we're probably going to do some videos.
Okay. Let's lock in these guys on DK.
Rondo says Allen got so mad at Sexton like a month ago. Sexton taking it personally. Yeah, I mean, I didn't see that, but just whenever I watch, it doesn't seem like Sexton's teammates like him. He always seems to get to the free throw line, pulls up for a jumper. I don't know. He's just not my type of player.
Yeah. Before we get into this, Chris, some other comments here. David Chris saying PJ Washington loses minutes with Zeller back, because we have him here. What do you think of that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm not expecting PJ Washington to play 41 and a half minutes again. I think somewhere in the 33 to 36 range is more fair. But at the same time, like, Bismack is the one that's going to lose direct minutes to Cody Zeller being back. But yeah, obviously it hurts PJ Washington a little bit as well. But I do think they'll still run Washington at the center against Houston here. Like, if Houston goes small, obviously Washington can match up at the 5 with whoever Houston runs out, like Christian Wood. Maybe if Christian Wood's off, someone like Jayshawn Tate. So yeah, I still don't mind him here as a last piece.
Okay. So DK, Harden, Chetty Osman, Luka Doncic locked there. Which ones do you want to go over, Chris?
Yeah, so for the core, same sort of thing. Garland here is just too expensive at 6'6". But Chetty here, 4K, really like that price tag. Yeah, we could take a look at these first two. We just got news that Tatum is playing today, so that's good to hear. But yeah, here we have Kyle Anderson in both lineups, 5.1K. Yeah, I think that's a fine last piece sort of thing. Have him projected for 28. Let me just see something. Yeah, so like I was saying before, his minutes have kind of been around 30, 29. So I think for 5.1K here on DK, he's a fine play. I'm not in love with it, but I think it's fine here as a last piece sort of thing. And then we have Halliburton here, 5'7". I like him as a play a lot in a good game environment. Minutes have been up recently, so I assume he's not on a restriction anymore. TLC, I like him for value here, 3.1K. And then we have this 2v2 with Monk, Ayton versus Horford and Claxton. Yeah, this one's pretty close. Like, Ayton here, he's 5'8", as you mentioned. He just seems way too cheap. At the same time, it's not a great matchup against Orlando. I think Vucevic will probably try to kind of keep him outside on the perimeter, which won't help Ayton a lot. Probably take away some of his rebounds like that. Monk, he's a little risky for me. I like the second side here. I'm a huge fan of Nick Claxton. 4K here. Utah always seems to run one big with either Gobert or Favors, so I don't think Claxton's going to get any less minutes because of matchup concerns or anything like that. And then Al Horford here without SGA. Didn't really talk about him too much, but I do think he gets a decent bump here. So I don't mind playing him as the last piece as well here on DK and cash games.
No concern, Claxton going up former defensive player of the year in Rudy Gobert.
No, I mean, Claxton, I think he's a really good player. 4K. Should see probably 22 minutes, 24, 26 max. I still think he can get there. He's a very good point per minute guy.
Okay. Trigger says Kleba, sick/vomiting emoji, puking emoji. What do you have to say about that, Chris?
I'm fine with Kleba. 3.8, like, if you don't want to play him, there's a bunch of other guys here. You can exclude him, see what you get. If you like that build more, go with that. But I'm fine with Kleba. like I said earlier, he's usually around that 4K range, low to mid 4Ks. Now we have him at 3.8. We have a slate where we want to jam in Harden and Luka, so he helps that. He helps with that. So I have no problems playing Kleber here against the Timberwolves.
Okay. And then for Turner, Chris, for his milli maker, how could we touch on that quickly? Like, should we talk about?
Well, I talked to him a little bit in Discord. Like, it just depends on how he wants to play it. If he's going for a min cash, then he could play the optimal and probably be pretty safe. If he's going for a takedown, then he has to get different. Like, probably has to fade Luka, fade Harden, fade some of these chalky guys, fade Osman. Like, I'm not saying fade all of them, but you could fade some of them and then try to use other studs as leverage. Like, play Jokic. No one's going to play Jokic. Play Trae Young, guys like that. But the way I would do it, it's a free ticket, so I would just go for the min cash. So I think just playing it as you normally play is the way to go. That's the strategy I would use.
How much is the min ticket there?
2.5K.
Oh, that's pretty good then. Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely interesting because I mean the straight optimal not straight optimal, but well, I guess straight optimal projections are pretty sharp. So most nights that's pretty good, pretty safe.
Yeah. Turnenberg knows that, so I'm sure he'll do something proper. Like, he's been around for a while, so he definitely knows what he's doing. The only reason I would kind of deviate is if you're trying to take it down, then you got to get different.
I think you mentioned something about Giannis to me. Maybe Giannis was in the optimal before Chris. I think he said something about getting Giannis in there instead of Harden, just because Harden has a questionable tag and he doesn't want to like switch it, switch the whole thing afterwards with that.
Yeah, he mentioned that to me as well. I think it was just earlier in the day, but I mean, at the same time, like, if you have Harden and he's ruled out, then you can switch. You'll have some low-owned guys that other people aren't on. So I don't know. It's just, if you're playing it like a tournament, then you got to take some stands.
Yeah, so we have Malcolm Brogdon playing today, Chris, and birthday boy Miles Turner playing. So just that.
Yeah, that's good news. So now we can just stay away from the first game.
Yeah, or get some of the birthday boy in Miles Turner.
No, the Giannis news that comes 30 minutes after that game is way more important. So that's something that we really need.
Yeah, DC says the odometer is in. Royal King says, can we take a look at the APM Express slate? Kind of interested in those. Is that DK Express?
No, I think it's FanDuel. Trigger says minutes for Chetty. I don't know. Like, let's see what he's been at. I would probably guess like 28 to 32, but let's see what he's been at. So he's been at 18, sort of around that range. I would say what I said. I would say like 28 to 32. If he starts, I would say probably 32 to 35. But if he's off the bench, I would say 28 minimum, or around 28.
Okay. Rhonda says if anyone will get traded mid-game. I wonder if anyone is going to get traded mid-game, like Harrison Barnes was from the Mavs to the Kings. That's pretty rare, isn't it?
Yeah, I was watching that game. I remember that. That was pretty strange.
Yeah. So this is the Express, Chris, 8 p.m. 5 p.m. Pacific time. What are your thoughts here?
Yes, I mean, it's pretty similar to the main slate. It's just you don't have Harden to play. You still have Luka as your stud. You got Zach LaVine as another stud. But everything else is pretty similar, honestly.
Yep. Okay, I think that is all she wrote. Anything else you want to go over, Chris?
No, I think that's it. We just have to wait for the news on the studs, Harden, Giannis. That's going to be big stuff to watch out for. And obviously we'll be in the Discord to kind of go over it all as it happens.
Yeah, Discord is the place to be, the place to hang out. So be sure to get in on the Discord if you're a member. It's members only, but if you're not a member, there's some channels there, like the Success channel, where you can watch all the crunchers kill it day in, day out. But yeah, before you guys go, if you like the content here, be sure to hit the thumbs up, smash the thumbs up. Helps us with the algorithms on YouTube. puts us in their good book. So be sure to do that if you enjoyed the content here today. And then if you're not subscribed, be sure to subscribe as well, bell button and all, so you can stay notified. We do the show, same format here every single day, 2.5 hours before main slate starts. So weekends as well, not just weekdays like some of the other guys in the industry. We don't take a day. We don't take days off here. We even do Christmas, every holiday, birthday streams. We'll do it all. So yeah, be sure to do that. And then another thing, if you are new here, you liked us using our optimizer here, you want to try it out yourself, want to use our projections, head on over to dfscrunch.com and get yourself a free 3-day trial. So all new members get 3 days for free. You're not billed until after 3 days from when you create your account. So 72 hours. You can set a reminder. You can cancel before then. Just try it out if you haven't. No hard feelings if you do cancel, but I would recommend you to try it out if you haven't tried it out. So it's really solid stuff. We have every main sport, FanDuel, DraftKings. We have every important slate type for both sites as well. So lots of stuff here. Keep you busy and super sharp projections. So be sure to check that out. Try it out. You don't need a coupon code or anything, by the way, for that. So yeah, dfscrunch.com. Go do it. Then I see T. Ross out today, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter. Like, awful game environment there. He's been out for a while, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I just want to say last thing. If Justin's still in here, congrats on. Yeah, you have it here. Congrats on this win. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I was gonna close out with that. So shout out to Justin. Took it down here. Split a few ways, but I mean, still super awesome. That was a tilt entry, so it's still good to see. Yeah, awesome stuff there. So love that. Yeah, so we'll be back at it tomorrow, guys. We'll be in the Discord, like Chris already said. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate all the chat here as always, and see you all tomorrow.